right, next witness.
Your Honor, our next witness is Deputy Thomas Blythe, and he's in the back.
Okay.
With the court's permission.
If you stand here, face the clerk, raise your right hand.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. This way.
This way.
Watch your step, step it up.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you go ahead and state your full name for the court reporter?
Thomas Arthur Blythe.
And Mr. Blythe is a Corporal Blythe,
Retired, yes.
and retired from what department?
Newport News Sheriff's Office.
And were you active in January of 2023?
I was.
And on January 6, 2023, did you respond to Rich Neck Elementary School?
I did.
And I'm going to ask you about your observations from Rich Neck Elementary School, and that'll be, if we can go read to the IPVO, it's just a little roadmap. That's all we're going to talk about, is your day at Rich Neck Elementary, okay?
Okay.
So can we start by, do you recall how you first heard of a call for a response? And I don't need to know what was said, just how you first heard of a call to respond to Rich Neck Elementary.
Came over the radio.
And where were you in time and space in relation to Rich Neck when you received that call?
I was about a 5 to 6 minute drive, maybe, with lights and siren going.
And when you arrived at Rich Neck Elementary, were you first, second, third in terms of first responders on scene? What were your observations?
I was technically first. Deputy Briggs was maybe 20, 30 seconds behind me.
And when you first arrived at Rich Neck, talk us through what you did in that moment.
We immediately went to the front door of the school, hit the buzzer, knocked on the doors, couldn't get in. Didn't see anybody moving around. Not what we expected to be responding to a situation like this. It seemed like an eternity for us. Was probably about a minute of banging on the door till I think a janitor or a security person opened the door for us.
And if we could go to Exhibit 9A, and don't publish that to the jury quite yet, just to the witness in the court. Publish it to the witness in the court, please, Reed. Do you see, if we can pause it, do you see that image up on the screen?
Yes.
And is that an image of you as well as other uniform officers?
That's Deputy Briggs, first one through the door, and I'm right behind him.
You're on to move Exhibit 9A into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
So admitted.
Permission to publish.
You may.
If we could start it from the beginning, Reed. So is that the moment that you were discussing? Janitor had let you all in?
Mm-hmm.
And that's you there at the left and two Newport News Police Department officers as well, is that
Yes.
correct? And when you walked into Rich Neck Elementary, were you being provided guidance from anybody on where to go? In other words, how did you know where to
we just
respond?
headed down the hallway. We naturally gravitated towards the office. I think there were some people in the doorway. We stopped briefly, looked into the office, saw there was a woman on the floor. Some people were attending to her. And then myself and at least the other two police officers, and I think Deputy Briggs was with us, headed down the hallway because we were trying to find out where the person with the gun was.
And have you now come to know that you were walking into room 11 or classroom 11?
Yes.
If we could show to the witness Exhibit 3, what we'll call 3A, which is Zwerner 6707. Just to counsel, please. Thank you, Reed. Do you recognize that photo in front of you?
That appears to be the classroom.
We'd move 3A into evidence, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
And it's just a photo, not a video, correct?
Just a
All
photograph.
right, admitted.
Permission to publish.
You may.
Go ahead, read. And Corporal, can you walk us through what happened as you walked through this door, room 11?
As we stepped through the door,
Can I give you a little bit of, not legal advice, but a little bit of legal advice? Refrain from saying what you heard people say, but really just your observations, if that's okay.
stepped through the door, and there was a young child attempting to be restrained by a woman. Later found out was Amy Kovac, the reading teacher. We were quite taken aback. We didn't expect to see so young a suspect. She said that she had control of him, that the gun was in the back of the classroom and pointed that way. I immediately headed in that direction. When I found the weapon on the floor, I called out that there was a gun, and I stood by.
Can I pause you there, just to bring the jury along? If I can show you Exhibit 3C, which is Zwerner 6726. And just to the witness and counsel. Yes. Do you recognize this photo?
Yes.
And is this a photo of the classroom, room 11, on January 6th?
Yes.
And can you see a firearm within the photo?
It's laying on the floor next to that chair.
All right. Your Honor, I'd move Exhibit 3C into evidence.
C is what we're calling.
C.
All right. Any objection? Without objection.
Permission to publish?
You may.
And we can sort of see that in the bottom left there. Is that right,
Yes.
Corporal? And if you can see in the photograph, there's a checkered backpack there on the right-hand side. Do you see that?
Yes.
Did you all later, at some point in time, come to know that to be the backpack of JT?
I did not. I was not involved with the backpack in any way.
Understood. And so there are, if we can jump to Exhibit 3E, just for the witness. And when you're, as that gets up, as a responding to a crime scene, usually there are other individuals that will come after you as the first responder to take these photographs. Is that correct?
Yes.
And ultimately, these photographs, as they appeared in the firearm, as it appeared, you were sort of guarding the location of it so that it would remain in that location until those individuals arrived.
Yes.
Excuse me. 6728. If you can, it's at the bottom of the screen. You can zoom out. All right. You recognize that as a closer shot of the firearm?
It is.
And I'm also going to show you what's been marked as 6730, which is another photograph of the firearm. And that's a closer shot of the firearm, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, so you're on a move both what we'll call 3E and 3F, which were those last two photographs shown into evidence.
All right, any objection?
No objection.
All right, without objection, permission to publish.
Permission to publish 3F, the most recent photograph.
And you go back and show them E.
I will.
All right.
And that's sort of a ruler on the right-hand side, or something to give us an idea of the size of the firearm. Is that
I believe
commonplace?
that's correct, yeah.
And then if we go back to 6728, which is the 3E, that gives us a broader vantage point of where it was within the classroom as well. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Those are all the questions I have for you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Good morning, Deputy Blythe.
Morning.
Counsel's asked you about your involvement in the investigation on the day of the shooting, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And you've mentioned that when you responded to Rich Neck Elementary School, you encountered some of the staff that worked there, right?
I encountered the janitor who opened the door. As we proceeded down the main hallway at the main T intersection there of the school, there was another janitor who said, "We have him."
Yes, sir.
And then we proceeded into the classroom, still trying to find the individual. And then we found Miss Kovac attempting to restrain the child.
And let's talk about Ms. Kovac. During your response and handling of the situation, you ended up speaking to Ms. Kovac later during your investigation. Do you recall that?
Yeah, well, I wasn't actually doing an investigation. When I spoke to Miss Kovac the second time, we had been sent to find a teacher and students that were supposedly hiding in a bathroom. In the process of that, I ran into Miss Kovac, I believe, outside the nurse's office.
And I'm going to show you a display. Brian, could you pull up D57A1, marked for the defense for identification? And Deputy Blythe, I'm going to ask you to look at your screen. And I'm going to see if you recognize. This is D57A1. This should not be published to the jury at the stage, just to counsel. And let me ask you, Deputy Blythe, during the time that you responded to Rich Neck Elementary School, you were equipped with police body-worn camera.
Yes.
And it depicted the events of that day and your interactions with the folks that you talked to, right?
Yes.
Deputy Blythe, do you recognize, you can see on that image, this is police body-worn camera from the day of the incident, right? This is January 6, 2023. Okay, and is this a fair and accurate representation of the Rich Neck Elementary School as you were going through the hallways?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask permission to publish this to the jury.
I object, Your Honor.
All right.
First, it's outside the scope. Secondly, it's a body-worn camera, so there's going to be hearsay statements that are contained that A, haven't been shared, and B, ultimately are hearsay that are admissible in the court.
All right.
Judge, I can address those in turn. First, with respect to beyond
Well,
this.
I've got to see it first. I can't rule until I see him.
We can voir dire on this outside the jury's presence, Judge,
Yeah,
or
I think we have to. All right, we did our best, folks, but at this point in time, we're going to have to. I'm going to have to see this video, make some evidentiary rulings. We can obviously clear the video. All right, proper foundation has been laid. No objection to that, correct?
No, it's
Okay.
not authentic body camera.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so I'll watch it, then I'll hear argument.
yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, and let's.
You got a call about okay. Everybody all right?
Everybody's
Okay. Nobody's hurt.
no.
Okay.
They have him. We're JT. They have him.
Yeah, he's in custody.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, I've got 3 ladies in here.
It's okay.
That door leads into this office.
Yes, it's the nurse. It was just him. As soon as he shot it, I was walking down the hall and I heard, and I went right in. Abby was in, the teacher was bloody.
And she came out.
She came out, we moved the kids out,
JT.
stood there, and I took,
JT.
I was the one who called my,
All right, so obviously that's been edited, right? The video's been edited?
Yes, we took the original document and just freeze specific portions, but it's not been altered from its original form beyond segmenting it.
And what about the audio, though?
The audio, to comport with the court's pretrial ruling regarding confidentiality of minors' names, we had our tech professional just censor the minors' names.
All
That's
right,
the
I just
extent
wanted to
of
make
alteration.
that clear what we were
Yes, Your Honor.
watching. All right, go ahead. You can stay there. Can you state your objections again now that you've
Yes.
seen that?
Yes, Your Honor. This is past the scope of, first of all, of Corporal Blythe's involvement in terms of what was elicited during direct examination. We talked about him arriving at the scene, locating and identifying the location of a firearm, and that's it. Now, when we get to this portion of the body camera, first of all, the question here is, what's relevant to the context of a body-worn camera in which 3 staff members are talking about? Candidly, I don't know what the relevance is of the substance of the testimony that is being elicited in the video, but to the extent there is any relevance to it, it's the statements themselves, presumably, that they believe are relevant. And those statements themselves are de facto hearsay statements by individuals who are not parties, and there is no exception to the hearsay rule that applies. To the extent they try to argue that it's an excited utterance or a present sense impression to that extent, the issue here is that excited utterance has to be within a certain time-limited period, and the courts have often said within a couple minutes or contemporaneous. And as Corporal Blythe has already testified, it took him about 5-6 minutes to get there. And then we're talking about his response time, and then we're talking about eventually him getting to this portion. And so A, I think it's irrelevant. B, it's beyond the scope of the direct examination. C, there are hearsay statements contained within, and if it's not for the hearsay statements, there's no pertinent issue that is being demonstrated in the context of this video without statements.
Please address those 3 objections.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll address them in turn. First, with respect to relevance. Well, in reverse order. First, with respect to hearsay, I will gladly, after having Deputy Blythe identify this as his video, mute any volume. I don't need it for purposes of this clip, so that should negate any hearsay objection. And additionally, Judge, this video, this is not beyond the scope of direct examination. Counsel began his examination, Deputy Blythe, by saying unequivocally, I'm going to, quote, ask you about your observations at Rich Neck, quote, your day at Rich Neck Elementary School. That is very, very broad and expansive. Although they focused on just the initial portion of Deputy Blythe's arrival, Deputy Blythe has also testified that he spoke to Ms. Kovac, at least during the initial encounter, and later followed up and had additional interactions with her. This is all within the scope of Deputy Blythe's initial response. It's fair game. It is not beyond the scope of direct, and the court has wide latitude to allow exploration of legitimate issues the jury should hear about. Finally, with respect to relevance, Judge, this is highly probative. First and foremost, I anticipate, and I will intend to elicit from Deputy Blythe, that when he's encountering these individuals, this is going to be the main office. This will be Dr. Parker's office, where you could see on the video there is Dr. Parker present there. She's also there with Miss Amy Kovac and Miss Laura Harris. Those are 3 folks in the hall, 3 folks who are in the office, and it will show the layout of the office. I will ask Deputy Blythe about how, when he enters the front entrance of that office, it clearly shows that Dr. Parker, her computer faces away from the front entrance. And in order to speak and interact with Deputy Blythe, she has to adjust and stand and sit perpendicular to him. That's salient to the issues in this case, Judge, because we've heard testimony in the course of yesterday and the day before that when Mr. Sims was in the main office, and also when other individuals went into the office, the way they perceived Dr. Parker was affected by how she was postured, how she interacted with them, and it will influence whether or not the jury has to decide whether or not she was indifferent, whether she did not respond. And this will account for the fact that she was working, that she was focused on her work. It's consistent with the defense theory that she was observing and diligently working. And that this is the layout of the office, this is the nature of it. just because you come in and she doesn't turn and look at you does not reflect callousness and indifference.
Right, I understand. All right, so hearsay is taken care of by muting that, so that takes care of that. So, Mr. Benioff, I'm going to agree with you that it is beyond the scope of your direct examination. They obviously have the right to recall him as their witness. I would I would sustain it on that. Do you have any, now that we know that he's not going to play the hearsay, would you withdraw your objection so we don't have to call him back, or do you want him called back?
No, that's okay, Your Honor.
Okay. All right,
Standing
so-
on my objection, but I understand the efficiencies that we can accomplish.
Okay, I appreciate that, and I bet the deputy does too. All right, so legally, once again, I do find that it's beyond the scope, and I do find that it's relevant. So balancing those, however, the court appreciates the withdrawal of the beyond the scope objection at this time for the purposes you are offering, and you are only allowed to offer it for the reasons you've stated. Agreed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very well.
And Judge, for efficiency's sake, with the same witness, I had several other clips from his body-worn camera that I wanted to address. They will primarily focus, I would proffer to the court, his interactions with Ms. Kovac and his discussion with her and prior inconsistent statements she makes to Deputy Blythe.
All right, that I'm assuming you're not going to agree to. Yeah, that.
Good assumption.
Yeah, that I think you'd have to do that in your case in chief.
I understand,
Yeah.
Judge, but I want to
Right.
alert the court. And so, very good. My understanding of the court's ruling is, with respect to these, this would require calling him in my case in chief. It's not off the table, though.
Correct.
Thank you, Judge.
Correct. All right. So, did you want to keep him on for the purpose that we've agreed on, or do you want to wait to do
That's
all
fine.
of it?
I'm happy to address this one individual clip.
Okay. All right. Very well. See if they're ready. And you're able to mute that. Right. Excellent. And what number are we going to give this for your
This is D57A1.
57?
57A1.
All right. Defense 57A1.
Thank you, Judge.
And yours in a box.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, counsel. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Deputy Blythe, you've testified to your initial response to Rich Neck Elementary School on January 6, 2023. That's what we were discussing.
Yes.
And you testified that during your response, you were going in there to try to find certain individuals and get a handle of the situation, correct? During your response, you were directed to seek out specific individuals, right?
After the shooter was in custody, yes, we had a call. There were people hiding in a bathroom that needed to be rescued,
Yes, sir.
lack of a better term.
And during your response, you were equipped with body-worn camera, right?
Yes.
And the body-worn camera was depicting the events as they unfolded and the folks that you interacted with, correct?
Yes.
Deputy Blythe, if I show you a clip from your police body-worn camera, would you be able to recognize that?
Yes.
Brian, could you pull up clip D57A1 and display that for counsel? And given our prior discussion, Judge, I'd ask to publish it to the jury.
All right. Objections noted for the record, but publish permission granted.
And Brian, I would pause at this juncture. Judge, I just want to be clear, if I could address the jury and make note that this has been muted for certain evidentiary reasons, but I nevertheless want them to see and observe.
Objection, Your Honor.
Yeah, you can't explain it to them.
Sure.
But it is muted there, and I will allow you to ask him any questions, and then obviously in closing you can argue whatever you would like to argue.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Please continue. All right, if we could pause here, Brian. Deputy Blythe, what we just watched here, this was you entering the main office of Richard Neck Elementary School, correct?
At the time, I didn't realize it was the main office, but it appears to be.
It appears to be the office where you see here on the screen, that is Dr. Ebony Parker, correct?
I'd never seen her before today, but
I understand. But this
didn't
appears
recognize her as who she was, put it that way.
not at the time, but now that we're in court, this is obviously Dr. Ebony Parker, correct? Okay, and then also present in that room were two other individuals. You can see one of those was Ms. Kovac, who you had an interaction with during your response, correct?
Yes.
Now I want you to just focus here. When we're looking at this image, this was the front entrance this was the main access point to get into this office, right? When you walked through, you had to go through that door in order to get there, correct?
I'm not sure if there's another door to the right or not. I'm not familiar with the office.
Understood. But as you entered the threshold of this doorway, you can see Dr. Parker is turned and faced kind of perpendicular to you, right?
Correct.
Okay. And so if she were facing forward, she would be faced away from you, obviously, right?
Yes.
In order to interact with you and talk with you, she had to turn, right?
Yes.
And you can also see that in front of her is a computer with a display on it, right?
Yes.
And her desk is facing away from the entrance that you used to access that office, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. I have no further questions of the witness, Judge.
All right.
I would move to introduce D57A1 at this time.
All right. Incorporate our prior discussion. Any other objections? All right. It is admitted. Then it's defendant's 57A1. Are you going to have any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you want him still under subpoena and available for recall?
Yes, Your Honor, and I'll be in coordination with you, Deputy Blythe.
All right, very well. Okay, so you are still a witness in this case, but so I'm not releasing you from the subpoena, but I am releasing you from court today. All right, so they have your number and can reach you in case you need to be called back at some later date. You understand?
Understood.
All right, and still as a witness, you're not allowed to discuss your testimony, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Be
Thank you,
safe.
Your Honor.